Oh, that's really bright. Good morning, my friends, and welcome to my channel. It's me, Jennifer from Mystic Star. Good morning. I want to thank everybody for being patient with me as I'm moving things around. I know many of us haven't even had our first cup of tea, let alone looking at a reading. I'm really excited. There hasn't been a lot of events in my province because of COVID over the last 2 years. And so I finally am getting to one. So if you're in the southern Alberta area, the Gypsy Soul Market is going on in Lethbridge. So I will be there all day. It's the first event I've done since February 2020, which seems like so long ago, yet not so long ago. So I'm really excited about that. That said, my live sessions will be changing as of September. I don't know what yet. My kids are going to be going to 2 separate schools, so I pick up and drop offs at different schools. So I am going to be moving the time. It'll probably be in, I think, the late mornings, but we'll have to see how, time goes. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, and let's get into this. So today we're going to be looking at the week, and this boggles my mind, of August 29th through to September 4th. We're headed into fall. For me, fall starts September 1. I know that's crazy because the fall equinox isn't until the middle end of the month. I think it's like the 21st, something like that. However, I get into September 1, I'm like, woo, fall. I mentioned this last week. I'm a fall girl. I love the colors, the richness. I even treated myself to some pumpkin spice. I like the tea, but when it gets into other stuff, I'm not such a pumpkin spice fan. And I also do eat pumpkin all year round. It's a fantastic vegetable to add into stuff. So this week, I grabbed a deck I haven't really played with a lot. It came out, I think, actually in 2020. But it has the fall colors. It's very fall-esque. It's called the Darkwoods Tarot by Sasha Graham. I love Sasha Graham. The artwork is very beautiful. It does have that more kind of muted blues and purples with the really rich oranges and yellows and golds. So to me, it's a fall deck. I love Sasha Graham because she has that sassy attitude. I love sass. So I had to pick this one up for this week as we transcend into fall. And then I've matched it with the stability of the Energy Oracle, just because it can, sometimes too much sass can be pretty overpowering, but a little bit of sass with some stability, it's a good week. So let's get into this week. As we start to shift into September, what can my friends expect from the beginning of the week? So as I'm still working on my first cup of tea, some of my English may be unique. my mouth and I are not friends this morning. I don't know if I'll do these early morning ones because it's a lot, but we'll roll with it today. Deceit. We have to be mindful of this week. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Knowing in advance, we are able to make the choices that are going to be meaningful for us. So like I said, we're going to be going into September. What does September bring us? New. What happens with new? Well, you get anxiety because things are changing. We have a whole bunch of kids going back to school. They may be going to new classrooms. They may be going to new schools. You have university and college students leaving home for the first time. That anxiety is high. And it's not just one area. We do it all over the world. And that added anxiety on top of everything else we're dealing with really will start to push and pull everyone around us, causing frustration and anger because things aren't working out as others had hoped, which causes people to react badly. We need to stay high vibrational and in that frontal cortex. Without it, we are going to fall into traps. We are going to cause ourselves more pain and heartache and a lot more work. So, knowing this, we can make choices for our greater good. Not self-centered choices, but high vibrational choices that are going to shine the light on others. So there aren't so many dark crevices for this low vibrational fear to hide. The more of us who are being mindful of our energies, and this is a big one, how we react to others, the better this week will go. Put your mind in perspective of Mercury retrograde. People will not react well. They're going to be pushed and pulled by the anxiety of everybody else. They're going to be pushed and pulled by COVID, by what's happening in the Middle East, by anger, by frustration of economies, of what's happening in the Middle East, what's happening globally. So it's your call on how you want to approach this. The law of free will. Of course, you're going to have people who will fall into it. It's easier because it's easier to bark back than take that deep breath and go, I have better tools I'm going to use up here rather than the back of my brain where our rudimentary brain is stored. And the rudimentary brain is that reaction, also known as the gut reaction. If it's a gut reaction that's low vibrational, where I'm going to bark back at you, you're not going to get nowhere. You're going to compound the situation. However, like I said, we can choose to lead in light by example. Labeling it. So I see you're having a hard time with this. Let's look at this in another perspective. Using our words, using our abilities. Let's see what this week is going to look like for you guys. What can my friends expect from the beginning of the week? So I should say, as I'm shuffling, it will come out on Tuesday, like always, the beginning-ish of the week. I have a meditation with Archangel Uriel that's really going to help out. It was a push for me, but I got it done. It's a meditation where we're connecting into that knowledge, not just any knowledge. It's the knowledge that has slipped through our fingers, the stuff that we didn't catch because we missed it as it was hidden in plain sight. That important knowledge. So that meditation will be out on Tuesday-ish. Usually Tuesday morning is when I try and post it. So that's going to help. And again, it's using the tools, right? So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I do have a lot of tools and supports to help you guys get over the challenges, get through some of the healing, get through some of the stuff we've got to get through. I've got a meditation, mindfulness meditations and tools. Then I have 3 meditative playlists. Everything is guided, and most importantly, everything is free. No strings attached. For you, please use as you need. So the Archangel Uriel one will be in my Archangel Healing Meditation playlist by Tuesday. I usually post those on Tuesday. The 5 of Wands, that conflict, that deceit, it's starting day 1, which sucks. I thought maybe we might have a bit of a reprieve. Sunday, Monday, you're really going to feel that conflict. It's going to be conflict with others, and internal conflict. This is the passion-based conflict. We've got the wand here. So don't be surprised if people wake up grumpy. People aren't coping well with their challenges, or things that you normally have them do, or people normally do. Everything is harder. There's more of a challenge. It's just blah. Like I said before, we're going to need to need to be mindful and use our tools, our communication, our throat chakra to support us. We're also going to need to nurture us, because this is global. This isn't just I'm having a bad day. No, this is a global thing. We're dealing with global energies. Even last week I said there's lots of push and pull, guys. Be very mindful of that. It's compounded now because we've got that anxiety, that fear. So we have to be doubly mindful. I have a meditation in my Just You and Me playlist. I think the first or the second. It's called a protection one. And it will help with that energy push and pull. So you're able to stay in your frontal cortex. So you're able to stay using your faculties rather than starting to bark and react. It's a fantastic meditation because it gives you a bit of a bubble to the energies at play. Think of it as a fun suit of armor that no one else can see that will support you throughout your days, especially in the beginning of the week. The more grounded you are, the more stable you are, the more you're going to be able to overcome that kind of stirring, whirlwindy chaos. All right. So things like tiger iron. Let's see. Woo! Hey, my kids didn't steal it. So tiger iron. This one's just a polished one in the shape of a heart. You don't have to do polished. It's just the one I could find and that my kids didn't take. I will actually next week on the 1st be doing a Crystal 101. We're going to be talking about crystals. How do you use them? What are good ones to get? Because if you go in and look at crystals, it's all sorts of color. There's lots of energies. And depending on where you're at, people may be going, well, just buy the biggest one for the most amount of money. It's not always the way it needs to be. So I believe it's a Wednesday, whatever September 1st is, I will be doing a Crystal 101. You can, if you have questions, you can leave it below in the comments here. You can email me. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can during the session and what's sent to me. So those are tools. Meditations are tools. We need to use them more now than ever, because this chaos, this chaotic energy, it's not going to shift anytime soon. I've been praying that it shifts before the end of August, as we're going to head into Mercury retrograde, and we don't need this push and pull on top of Mercury retrograde and all its funness. So, beginning of the week, be prepared for some bumpiness. Nurture you as you need to. And if you need to, look at possibly reducing some of the pressures. So if you know you've got a chakra block couple of days, look at rescheduling some of it to later in the week or possibly the week after. See what works for you. Give yourself time for some tea, for some coffee, for a shower. Don't push yourself to that extent where you're really feeling that fatigue and you're not able to stay in the frontal cortex and we get to that reaction piece. It's amazing how a nice cup of tea or coffee can really set your day up nicely. All right, let's go into the middle of the week. What can my friends expect from the middle of the week? I don't know what tea company is good down in the States. I find that too much coffee starts to make me shaky. But I like my tea. And the tea company that I like in Canada is David's Tea. So if you're Canadian, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I love the loose tea. I love the flavors. The Emperor. The fourth card in the Major Arcana. We need to have that stability, that almost prowess, that inner masculine. We need, and it doesn't matter what gender you identify with, we all have it. Calling in that divine masculine to bring in stability in your week. We need it. The more stable and grounded you are, the more in control you are of you, the more the Emperor is going to shine. That stability, that routine. We don't want the rigidity, but we want that, that stable, that foundation. With that foundation, we can deal with the push and pull. We can deal with people and their reactions, their deceit, their trying to get ahead and above. We always have that in play. Why? Because not everybody's high vibrational. It's a lesson I've been trying to teach my kids because they deal with a lot of light workers. My friends are light workers. They deal with people who are out for their best interest because they want to see them shine. But in the real world, that's not everybody. So we always have that element in play. It's just deceit needs the shadows. The heart, like the brighter we shine, the less they're going to be able to impact us. We'll be able to make positive choices and not back down. So the middle of the week, we will find stability when we create it. Like I said, this is global. We can't stop it, but we can stop how it's impacting us. And that's what we're going to see in the middle of the week, especially if we make choices for your greater good, which means doing things that bring in stability, bringing in that routine, making sure you're not triple booked or double booked on stuff, that you're not pushing yourself and having that added demand and expectation that really causes and amplifies that instability. Because when we put ourselves and push ourselves too far and too much in one area of our life, and that's usually the physical, because we have lots of demands. We have meetings, we have expectations, we've got kids, dogs, we've got to pay the rent, we've got to pay the car bill, we got to go do this and that. Asking for help and putting things in perspective. What has to be done now, and what can I do when things aren't as challenging? And I love doing this because I'm a mom. I'm all over the place. I work efficiently. I don't want to work harder. So I do a lot of my healing when I have a shower. When I am working out, you can clear your mind. Focusing in. So if you're going for a run, focus in on that breathing. You can get into a meditative state. And I think they coined it as a runner's high, where you go into that meditative state. So work more efficiently rather than burning yourself out. So different perspectives. This week we know is going to be challenging. So let's look at that challenge. Can it help us? Sometimes it can. Because when people are challenged, sometimes you get that turtle effect. Be aware of that as well. And be aware and own what's yours, guys. We have the Emperor here. That anxiety that others are feeling because they're starting a new school, because there's lots of shifting, is it yours or theirs? Because you don't need to own their crap. That's theirs. Give it back. That's why that protection meditation is really helpful, because empaths, we're like, without protection, if I haven't put in something in play and I go to like a mall or something, I last 5 minutes before I'm like, I'm done. I gotta go home and have a nap. But with protection, you can deal with that energy. You can reflect it back to people. You don't need to own it. You don't need it to impact you and weigh you down. What about the end of the week? What does the end of the week bring, my friends? All right. Haha. Yay. Hallelujah. All right. So the Ace of Swords. Aces are a gift. Sword, truth, and knowledge. There's a saying that the truth will set you free. This is very true. That's why I did that meditation with Archangel Uriel, where we're connecting into missed stuff. It's going to be really important at the end of the week. Like I said, we can't stop this. However, we can shift it so we're open to what this week can bring us. Archangel Uriel was really, really clear. His meditation had to come out this week. I was looking to bump it one more week ahead, like for the following week, because I was getting ready for the event and I had a lot of clients come up at the end of the week. So what I did was this morning he woke me up going, "Can you do my meditation now? Please don't forget before you leave." And I'm like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Really like to sleep. He's like, no. It's okay. You can sleep later. Although I'm still working on my first cup of tea. So that aha is going to be important. It's going to give you that direction. Part of that meditation is connecting the dots. We need to connect some dots. We want to get away from this kind of energy and into energy that's for our greater good. And Archangel Uriel can help us. How fantastic. Is she going to come in? Maybe not. So this is the Page of Wands, if the camera will focus. Sometimes it doesn't like to. There we go. Yay! There she is. So pages are usually considered childlike energy or a feminine energy. So you'll see often that the pages are drawn in as little girls or women. It's that innocent energy. It can also be that naive energy. It kind of, some of the stereotypes on the cards can sit funny with you, but it is that very open, unweighed down energy that we need. Not so much naive, but unweighed down. Because we have these burdens that just, they're crushing us. Without that inquisical energy, without asking some of the harder questions, we're not going to get to the heart of the problem, to the knowledge that is going to take us that next step forward. So the end of the week, we do need to be asking ourselves the hard questions about our journey, about our situation, what's working, what's not working. And how can we take what's working to the next level while starting to release what's not. Nothing in leaps and bounds, guys. This is reflection. And sometimes it's really hard to reflect on and go, okay, I don't like this, because we get caught up in that. We get caught up in it's not working. I suck. I'm failing at this. This isn't working. Yeah, okay, it's not working. Hands up. But what is? What part of your life is really that you're like, yeah, I'm nailing it here. I like this. I like it when I enjoy when I give myself time to do. How can you use that more in your life? We need that passion. At the end of the week, we've got knowledge here, and we've got the wand, we've got the fire, we've got that passion. Those are key elements that are going to take you to where you want to go. Everybody has a soul's journey. Is everyone leading it? No. Is that okay? Yes. We're perfect for where we're at. The challenge becomes when we slow down, we put our head in the sand, and we get stuck. If you don't like where you're at, you can start to make little shifts in your day, in your everyday, that will take you away from what you don't like to something that you do. The small steps, the small shifts make the change that you want, but it's stable. We know stability is important. We learn more when we're stable, when we feel comfortable. We're not worried about what may happen. We feel comfortable. We have fallback plans. So, small baby steps. Reflection is a big part. That knowledge is going to be key. Don't focus in and hyper-focus in on what's not working. We don't need to nitpick that apart. We already know it's not an area that you are enjoying. If you know there's something that you could do to make it better, absolutely. We want the better. We want the positive. We already have enough low vibration, harmful energy in play. Let's shift out of that into something that's going to be really meaningful. Let's look at the challenge, because if it was as easy as I just said, we would be able to fly through our weeks. It never is, because we have other things in play. Our ego, we have our resistances and our fears, which again, it goes back to our ego. What challenge will my friends face at the beginning of the week? Just think of it as this way. If it was easy, we wouldn't learn as much and we wouldn't actually grow. People who have stuff handed to them don't grow as much as people who work for what they get. They have more respect for what they're earning. The Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords has learned everything the hard way. She hasn't taken the easy route, ever. However, there is resistance to learning, whether it be the hard way or if it was given to us. Resistance to how that information would nurture and help us grow. We would rather sit in our stuckness and that gunk than push ourselves forward. In the beginning of the week, we're already overwhelmed. We're already feeling that burn. The Queen just really reinforces the fact that we're missing it. We're missing knowledge. We're missing aspects that would support us in this, whether through resistance or through paying attention to the chaos at hand. We need to be able to take some time for ourselves, especially at the beginning of the week, and connect in, go past the chaos, that turbulence, and get to something that's going on. Really be present in our everyday. When we do, we're going to turn the Queen from an obstacle into an ally. She can easily combat this because she's using her head, not her heart, which is another very clear message for her. We need to use our head, not our heart this week. Our heart is only going to add to this and compound it, make it more hurtful. The Three of Pentacles. I like to call this card the Triforce Perfecta. So you're working with self, your physical support team, and your spiritual support team. Okay, it's a cooperation card. Well, it's not going to be so helpful this week. Like I said, these are global energies, guys. This is not just a, oh, it's just happening to me, I'm having a really crappy week card. These energies are everywhere. Your entire physical support team is going to be, well, bombarded. So if they're not able or don't protect themselves, They're going to be all in this. They're going to be pushed and pulled. They're not going to be a valid or a very positive support because they're already feeling overwhelmed. This chaos, this really push and pull energy, it's going to disconnect us from our physical or our spiritual support team. So we're going to feel a little bit isolated. However, this gives us a fantastic opportunity to really tap into ourselves, our abilities, and our tools. What can we do? Like I said, our choices can either add to this push and pull, to this kind of swirly, chaotic energies, or we can start to light the way for our friends and family through just being. When you model those behaviors, when you reflect that energy out, guess what comes back? We'll play with the law of karma. Boom. Added supports that we hadn't even thought of. Because there's going to be people that you have no idea that are very spiritual, that are working in this light, in this love, which I know sounds hokey, but when they work in this higher vibrational energy, you'll find them. They'll be attracted to you because they'll be like, oh, look, another one. Okay, so crazy week. What are you doing? What crystals work for you? Right? Or they'll give you something. I've had that happen to clients where they're like, yeah, nobody in my office does this. And then a week like this comes up or we talk about something and they're dealing with something. And this random person that doesn't look, and that's a big thing, doesn't look like they are very spiritual because they keep that aspect of self pretty closed off, we'll give them like a tiger iron bracelet because they're like, you know what, I can see you're struggling this week. Here, this helps me, right? So yeah, just look at how you can take care of you in ways that is really meaningful. A little bit of time here and there adds up. All right, let's get into the middle of the week. What challenges will my, okay, sure, friends face for the middle of the week? I asked that they keep it on the table, and they did. Just right in the middle of the cards. The 10 of Cups, or sorry, the 2 of Cups. Reading backwards and up, sideways. 2 of Cups, of course, is that connection. Like I just said, people in our lives are going to be impacted by this energy. So partners and friends and family, yeah, they're going to have a bad week too. Be prepared for that. So knowing that they're going to have a bad week and maybe reactive can add even more of a to your week. Also know, especially in the middle of the week, as we're trying to bring in that stability, we can start to feel unbalanced within ourselves. Our energies can start to wane because we're really focusing in on that masculine. Take time to make sure we're balancing you so that you don't feel off kilter. So that one area, whether it be masculine or feminine, is still balanced within us. I've got, I brought it out earlier this year. It was a balancing meditation with your, the divine masculine and divine feminine within us. Fantastic meditation to make sure that we're not getting too one-sided. Justice, the 11th card in the major arcana, that balance. That balance is going to be really challenging. Not only balancing our energies within us, but balancing life in general. That's why that stability is going to be so important. Making sure you feel, oh, hi, Heather. Sorry, I missed. I don't know when you wrote that. I got caught up in the cards. You're going to need that stability to move forward. But at the same time, we're going to lack in other areas. So that balance is going to be imperative. Things are going to be thrown at us left, right, and center. And it's not like we're going to want to catch. It's more like you're going to want to dodge. Okay. So that balance, that stability, hand in hand. Focus on both of them at the same time. That's why I like meditation. I said earlier, I like to do things, I like to work more efficiently than harder. Meditation hits so many of those. I always ground in my meditations, no matter what we're doing. You're centering yourself because you're focusing in on your breath, and you start to balance yourself out. So in our day, we focus on one side of our brain. It's an unconscious thing. Some of us are more creative, while other of us are more of that Spock analytical, A plus B always equals C. So when you meditate, you start to balance that out, and you use both aspects of your brain. We're going to need that. We're going to need that balance within us, because balancing our life right now is going to be a challenge. It's going to be more, like I said, ducking when you need to, and being aware of what's around you and really what's yours, because we can sidestep and dodge stuff that is not our stuff, because you don't need that added burden. You don't need another ball to juggle. Just let it fly by and deal with what's right at hand. Justice also, of course, she always has that sword. She's the archetype for the legal system, I know for sure for North America. So we have that ability to start to cut out stuff that we don't need. Like I said, making sure that we're not overwhelming ourselves with a lot of tasks this week. There's too much energies in play. Spread it out, space it out, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed even looking at your week. And I like to do that. I like to plan out my week and look at it. How does it feel? Sure, you're going to have appointments, so you're like, appointment, dentist, well, right? But it shouldn't feel like you look at it, go, okay, I'm exhausted already. Just even writing it out, I'm exhausted. That's what we need to look at, what we need to balance out, what we may need to trim away, what's ours and what's other people's stuff. Let's go on to the end of the week. What is the end of the week? What challenge will my Patreon or my friends face for the end of the week? Okay. Challenges are challenges. Like I said, there's usually a lot of challenges because things we have to learn. We have to break patterns. Big wins. The 7 of Swords. Trying to get away with too much. Goes right back into that deceit. Will others try and deceive you this week? Yes. People are not at their best this week. And given why some of these energies are in play, so we know that there's a lot of anxiety and stuff, we're going to see that it's probably going to transcend into next week. So don't be surprised if you get a similar reading where you're like, well, the energies still remain the same because kids are going back to school. There's lots of change. But this is the week that kids start to leave home. They're starting to embark on that next phase. So it's really, really high. So part of the week, though, especially at the end of the week, what's going to really impact your ability to connect into that passion and that knowledge is all the fluffy crap our ego has put around us. It was needed. I won't lie. Most of it was kind of put in as you go through adolescence, trying to protect you from the rumors, the gossip, the crap that we dealt with in high school and growing up. We never took that off. We have forgotten what we were protecting because it's been a while, right? So the end of the week, we're going to really feel that padding kind of slowing us down, adding extra weight. We don't need extra weight. We don't need extra heaviness. We need to be able to move and breathe. Justice, will help us if we have the balance. Again, we can turn her from an obstacle to an ally, especially in the latter part of the week as we're trying to go for knowledge, because she is a black and white card. Okay, not in this deck, but she's usually a black and white card. She has that perspective. She can help us start to cut away some of that fluffiness. Getting back to us, that authenticity, that authentic self can easily tap in to our higher self and get that blueprint on what it is we wanted to accomplish in this lifetime, where it is we should be going. It's going to be more than just 1 week of going, okay, I'm going to do this. It's going to be a process. Ourselves will not allow too much of that padding to go without causing your ego to start to panic, and you start to become anxious, you destabilize and shut down. Think of it like Shrek. You have to peel the onion back and let it sit. Peel the onion back and let it sit. The Hanged Man, or in this case, woman. Not sure why they kept it as Hanged Man when it's clearly not, but sure. It's the let it go guy. We're going to get caught up in our crap. We're going to get in our way. We're going to get nothing done. Yes. So we want the knowledge. We want that passion. We want to get out of this. We got to get out of our way. How do we do that? Well, that passion, that creativity. Simplest way to get out of our head. It's really hard to concentrate on expressing self, no matter how you express it. That fun, creative aspect of you, and still worry about everything else. Because we get caught up in the whatevers, right? Whatever, however it is you express yourself. You get caught up in it. And then all of a sudden, you've been reading for 42 minutes. And you're like, really? Where'd the time go? Get out of your head, get out of your way, and you're rewarded. You gonna come in? No, it's the Knight of Wands. There he is. So, that no fear, fiery energy. We don't feel it. It would be so great to have this card in this week where you're like, yeah, he's going to be there to help you. Just tap into that passion. We feel depleted. We feel exhausted. Yeah. Nurturing you. This is why it's baby steps. We don't have to charge forward. Will that fire help you? Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, Archangel Uriel was really clear with me. We needed his meditation. Archangel Uriel, his name means fire of God or light of God, depending on how you translate it. He helps us step out of the shadows and into our light. It's really what we need to do. So, using the tools. Really, and anytime I work with Archangel Uriel, I feel it right in my solar plexus. It's just like a whoosh of fire. That's what we're going to need. He's going to be a fantastic support to help burn this away. The King of Cups. Oh, my cameras. There we go. King of Cups. Kings, the most fully defined personality of their suit. They have the most control and the most power. And it's that emotional control, that intuitional control that we're going to be missing this week. We need it now more than ever. The end of the week, especially with that disconnection, with us feeling like we can't move because we feel so heavy, those emotions, that energy, it's going to feel taxing. Taking that time, releasing the energies as it comes forward. So for example, when things get heavy, I encourage clients, I encourage my kids to go to a tap, because they're everywhere, and run your hands underwater and visualize that heavy gunkiness just be washed off. And it's okay. That heavy gunkiness, it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to hurt Gaia or anything. Your guardian angel is always with you and will transmute it. They know what you're doing. You're getting rid of that chaotic energy. You're getting rid of that heaviness so that you can clear your mind and focus in. And the greatest thing about that trick, no one needs to know what the heck you're doing, because you can just sit under the water and just see it away. Right? You can set the intention in your mind before, as you're coming up to the tap. Okay, can any and all high vibrational beings support me in this release? I'm just feeling really overwhelmed. Done. That control, that groundedness is going to be needed, no matter how unstable we feel. We can't control these energies. These are global. And some of them are even higher than that. We've got some pretty big push and pull here. But we can control us. We can control our breath. We can control how we respond to things. That's really what this week is reinforcing. All right, let's look at what further supports, guidance, and help we can offer my friends for the week of August 29th through the 4th. The world. I love it when it flips upside down. It's a very important card. So the world. Reminding us that the shadow does not have control. The deceit is not in control. We have choices. And this too shall pass. When? Well, there's a lot of things in play. That's okay. Time is irrelevant for high vibrational beings. It's us who slow things down. Archangel Raphael, 4th chakra, which of course is your heart chakra. That compassion and nurture needs to be turned towards us so that we can inspire and support others through our actions. All your chakra systems is going to be really important to you. Start working with it. I've got a meditation that I did in December where we balance and center your chakras, because a lot of times they start to move around your body and then the energy can't flow as well, causing us to feel unstable and unbalanced. So taking again a positive choice for you. We use the tools at hand. This is why I have so many, because I know we need them. Healer of the ages. No matter what your thoughts are around Christ and his practices and the Bible, that's not what we're talking about. He was a healer. He used unconditional love. I think everybody can agree the Bible is not accurate. Just leave it at that. But he's a healer. He's an ascended master. If you are honored enough to connect in with him, which by the way is very challenging because he's an ascended master. He's not an archangel. Archangels are omnipresent, which means they can be with multiple people working on multiple tasks. Ascended masters, one person at a time. Right now, I know exactly where he is, where the pain and the hurt is the most. He's in Afghanistan. Sorry, English not my first language. T, completed not. He's in Afghanistan. So, but know that unconditional love and that healing, we can do it. We all have that ability. Setting the intention and putting it out there and doing it. Big aspect here, guys. Doing it. Many people have come forward and could have done and been that icon, but did not do it. It's that action. You have to actually do it. Finally, woman holding a heart. That compassion and love needs to be there. That fear, that doubt, no, we don't need it. It's not going to help us. It will hold us back and This week it'll feel harder than it really is and could be. So being careful how that heart center impacts you. Is it going to be important? Yes. When that heartache and pain comes in, it's when we start to heal. Start to love ourselves a little bit. Have that bit of a compassion so that we can heal and continue to move and grow. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I hope that this gave you an insight into what's going to happen next week. There's going to be a lot, taking it one step at a time, nurturing and loving you. Tuesday, you will have a meditation that'll help you. Always fun to have a new meditation. I love doing them. They're a lot of fun to actually physically do. And I get a lot of great feedback from them. On the 1st, which I think is Wednesday, don't quote me, I haven't checked and haven't finished my tea. So yeah. I'll be doing my Crystal 101 so we can talk about crystals. I'll have to go find them in my kids' rooms. It'll be fine. And then Friday, again, we'll be back with the live reading. So I hope for the best of the week I hope that the best for your week ahead. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Until tomorrow, my friends. All right, there we go.